Howdy, folks. So welcome in to this Wednesday live edition of Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for spending part of your Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening with us. We got a big show on tap. Coming up in just a few moments, we will begin with the latest Seattle Seahawks news and rumors as we'll discuss the possibility of trading for Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs. Also got an injury update on Jamal Adams we'll get to. We will go over my 53-man roster projection for your Seattle Seahawks, and we'll do not one but two Quinnen mailbags today as well. Use the hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the mailbags, and we will answer your questions coming up later on in the show. As we file in our build-up portion of the show, here's your chance to interact with us and get a shout-out. And here's what I need you to do. Go ahead and shout out your area code. Big Tex is in the house with me today, and we'll bring Texer in here in just a second, and we'll quiz him on some of these area code locations. Remember, the area code is the 3-digit number associated with your cell phone number. It is not the 5-digit zip code associated with your address. So shout out your area code where you guys are watching at today. Kyle says we love you, Tyler. Kyle, love you too. Thanks for joining us today. I got people in the chat wondering about why are we talking about Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs today. Well, CBS Sports mentioned it. And if CBS Sports is talking about it, then we're going to tell you what they had to say. So, look, most of you are not new here, okay? Let me be real with you. You know how this works. We go over news and rumors. If people are talking, we're going to tell you about it. So we're just doing our jobs around here. So although I think the possibility of bringing in Derrick Henry or Josh Jacobs might be a little ridiculous, we'll at least give it a little bit of time and share our thoughts. So we'll get to that coming up momentarily. I see Gino in the 206. I got Jay in the 325. Peter representing the Virginia Tech Hokies in the 571. I got Tom. Greetings from the 818. Greetings to you, Tom Anderson. Thanks for being here with us. Brandon in the 503. Joe in the 425. Thanks for being here, Joe. Big Tex in the house here with me as well. Tex, how we doing today, my friend? There we go. Turn your mic on. There he is. There's Big Tex. Tex, how we feeling on this Wednesday? I can't hear you either. Tex is working on his audio. Whenever we get Tex in his audio figured out. There we go.
It was stuck.
Tex, we got Michael in the 256. Are you ready to be quizzed on these area codes? Any guesses?
Down. I'm down. Ooh.
Let's start with Kyle in the 815. Where do you think Kyle is at?
And this is not zip code, right? So this is phones.
Correct.
Okay.
Ante, this is area code. That's the 3-digit number, not the zip code associated with your mailing address. We already went over that, but nonetheless.
815?
815. Where do you think that is?
Ooh.
From Kyle.
Kyle. Let me think.
I'll give you a hint. Midwest.
Okay. Michigan.
Not far off. Chicago would be the answer there.
Okay.
On that one. Keep sending in those area codes, and we'll keep quizzing Tex here on a few of them. Let's go with Rudy in the 425. What's the guess there, Tex?
Ooh. New York.
No, this would be Bellevue, Washington, the Seattle area.
Oh, so complete other side of the
425.
U.S.
Nice try. How about the 360 area code where Auntie is at?
Arizona.
No, that would be Western Washington State, outside the Seattle Metro in the Cascade Mountains. Is that one there? How about we go with Joe in the, let's see here. Or actually, we already did 425, so you'd get that one.
Yeah.
Let's go with the 503 where Brandon is at. Here's the hint I'll give you on this one, Tex.
Okay.
This one is in the Pacific Northwest.
Okay. Oregon.
Okay, good start. You're correct. In Oregon.
Portland?
Yes!
Ah!
Bang!
Let's go.
There we go.
I got one.
Tex, get one. Let's do one more. Let's go Paul in the 415. Tex, where are we going? Where is the 415? Also on the West Coast.
Okay. Washington State?
No, California.
Oh, okay.
This city has a lot of needles on the streets.
Oh, San Francisco?
Yes!
God.
San Francisco, the correct answer there. Good job, Tex. Deanna in the 509. I got Frosty, the Chop Man, in the 971. I got Andre in the 901. Thanks for being here with us, everybody, as we get this show started here on this Wednesday. We already know the Seahawks schedule. It's been released since the last time we talked to you guys, and we did our whole schedule breakdown video. You can watch that if you haven't seen it already. It is on our channel. You can watch the schedule release as well as our schedule prediction video. What is the most exciting game of the Seahawks' upcoming season? Let us know in the chat what you guys think the most exciting game is for the Seahawks in 2023. My answer, Big Tex, Thanksgiving night, taking on the Niners at home. I think that's going to be fantastic to see arguably one of the best rivalries in the NFL, two of the best teams in the NFC, and on Thanksgiving, after you've eaten all your turducken and everything with that, your turkey legs.
Oh, yeah.
Then we end the night watching the Seahawks and the Niners in Seattle Thanksgiving night. That's going to be electric.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a great contest. I mean, you got Jackson Smith and Jigba, Christian McCaffrey, maybe Big Cock Brock, depending on if he gets back in time, health-wise. I mean, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I think the NFC has like 2 or 3 explosive teams. The Seahawks are one of them, 49ers, and maybe like the Eagles offensively, right. So that'll be a good one.
Let's see. Tom says the Thanksgiving game. Brandon says the Eagles game.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Auntie says the 40 Weiner games. That's good. Bocce Director says Seahawks versus Niners on Thanksgiving. Brandon says Thanksgiving. Okay, so everybody seems to be, the consensus is Thanksgiving with this game against the Niners. It seems to be. That was my answer, and that seems to be everybody else's answer as well.
You know what mine would be? If they play the Rams, that's mine because Bobby...
They play the Rams twice.
Okay,
Week 1, they play in Seattle.
Okay. I think that one would be the cooler of the two because you get to see the return of a former Rams, Bobby Wagner, playing against his former team of last year. So I think that'll be kind of interesting. Maybe not,
and then
quite the offense.
Bobby will be back in Los Angeles.
Either of
the
those.
Return game will be November 19th. That's the week prior to the Niners game on Thanksgiving.
So what you're saying is the Rams are going to take 2 L's this season to the Seahawks.
Yes, that would be nice. Peter says the Cowboys game. Auntie says Thanksgiving. Okay, so let's see. Jadavian says the Cowboys game is going to be the one. So there you have it. Schedule. Glad it's out now, and can't wait for the season to finally get here. Name a player the Seahawks should add. So today we're going to focus on Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs, as CBS Sports has named both players as possible trade targets for the Seahawks, named Seattle in their top 2 trade destinations. I'll be honest, I think both ideas are a little crazy, but nonetheless, we'll give it its time of day and react to it coming up later. So, but we'll talk about that. But what say you? Name a player the Seahawks should add. Some of the notable free agents out there sitting around right now. Still got Yannick Ngakoue is waiting for a new home. You got Melvin Ingram sitting out there. We're still waiting to see where Jarvis Landry ends up. Those are just kind of the names on the free agency front. Who do you guys think? Who is a player the Seahawks should add that is available at this point in time? I mean, you talk about trade ideas. Quinnen Williams, his name's been mentioned a lot. Chase Young's name has been mentioned as a possibility. You also have, when it comes to free agency, not only Yannick Ngakoue, but Jadeveon Clowney. His name has come up as well. So those are
with the Seahawks?
a reunion. That would be something if that occurred. Let's see what you guys have to say. Bocce Director says Seahawks need a guy like Yannick. Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised Yannick Ngakoue is still available. He was one of the best free agents on the market when free agency began. Let's see. My dashboard froze up here, so I'm taking a minute to refresh and read your comments, guys. Stand by. and I will read what you guys have to say here as.
YouTube's trying to shadow ban Tyler.
Yeah, YouTube. What are the people saying while I try to get my computer loading, Tex?
I saw one person say running back is not a need. Samuel, he said, we have other pressing needs to even consider trading for a running back. We need interior defensive line. We need inside linebacker. We need interior offensive guard. Running back is not a need, all caps.
I agree. I agree with that statement, folks. Let's see. What else? Now we're back. Now I can see your stuff.
Derrick Henry, of course.
Let's see here. Peter says Quinnen Williams, even though it'll cost a lot. Oh. Tom says the trades make sense for both those players, just doesn't make sense for our team. Bocce Director says Quinnen Williams, but unrealistic with cap issues. Brandon says Ndamukong Suh, bring him back to the Pacific Northwest. Yeah. Let's see. What else we have here? Jadavion says, you'll never believe this, I would love Jadavion back to Seattle, but same with a sub. Okay. Ante says Beast Mode 2.0, Derrick Henry. Okay. So those are a few different guys. Before we officially can start this show today, we have not one but two mailbags coming up. And you may be sitting there asking yourself, how do I get a question in for Tyler, or maybe even I have a question for Big Tex, whatever it may be. We will answer your questions if you use the hashtag Seahawks, or if you super chat. And if you super chat, you'll go to the very front of the line is how that will work. We'll get your questions up before anyone else. Tex can get your question up in the mailbag segment if you super chat within 60 seconds. So It's a pretty fast process here. Whatever questions you guys have, use that hashtag Seahawks or super chat, and you will get on the mailbags that we'll be doing coming up later on. So that's how that works. And makes our jobs a lot easier, especially for Tex. If you're sending in your questions with that hashtag Seahawks or super chatting, we'll make sure you get covered. We are at 8 likes right now, which, guys, we got about 50 people watching. We can do a lot better than that.
Rookie numbers.
Yeah, they are rookie numbers. I think I'm being generous here, Tex. If we get to 30 likes, then we can officially start the show today.
That's fair.
I need 20 more people to like today's video. That way we can get rocking and rolling here on Seahawks Today on this Wednesday afternoon. So smash that like button. Give it a little tickle. If you love the Seahawks, if you want to have a great Wednesday, a great rest of your week, then go ahead and hit that like button. Show us some love, and that'll help the algorithm out so we can get more people out and about with us. Push this show out to as many people as we can, because we want to get this show to as many of the 12s out there. So hit that like button. When we get to 30, we'll officially start the show. We're at 16 so far, 17 now, so I need 13 more to officially get this thing going.
Appreciate you, Samuel.
Samuel, with some love there. Thanks for the likes there, Samuel and others out there. Need about 12 more, we'll officially start. In the meantime, let's go ahead and show you the Super Chat menu. What we are offering today here on this Wednesday. As you guys know, with it being Wednesday in our live shows, it's still the middle of the afternoon on the West Coast. It's happy hour here on Seahawks Today. And so these are our happy hour specials. These are discounted. You're not going to get these on game days or anywhere else. This is a price that we offer to take care of you guys. Any Super Chat gets you a shout out. We will throw you on screen, shout out your name, and show you some love here on the show. $2, you can ask me or Big Tex anything. And Tex, I mean, it doesn't even have to be football related. I mean, you got a lot of interests outside of work. That people can talk. We can talk movies. Whatever's on your mind here. We can answer those questions. $2, whatever's on your mind, we'll answer it here on the show. $5, we'll sing the DK song, which is a classic here on Seahawks Today, which everybody just seems to love and enjoy. $5, we'll sing that song. For every $5 Super Chat, we'll sing it as much as you like. $10, we'll take a shot. I do have the Fireball in hand or ready to go. Have yet to take one today. In fact, besides just the $10 for taking a shot, I'm at 24 likes right now. I said we needed to get to 30 to start the show. I'm taking a free shot when we get to 30 likes to officially start this show today. And every $200 collectively as a unit, we will take down the boot, which we will drink as quickly as possible. It's 3 beers in one. Here's the boot right here in all its glory. This thing is just fantastic. $200 collectively. Then we're drinking the boot, and this thing is going down. Like, this bastard's not going to survive. We're going to enjoy taking down the boot together. And then $100 gets you a spot in the Boot Hall of Fame. I know that we got some people watching that have not been inducted yet in the Boot Hall of Fame. Can I entice you with the opportunity to join the Boot Hall of Fame? $100, and we'll do a big induction ceremony and everything. You will live for eternity on the Seahawks boot. Every time we drink the boot, you'll be on this boot together, and we'll show you some love here on the channel. $100, you get a spot on the Seahawks Boot Hall of Fame. We'll do it right here on today's show. 2 more likes, and we will start the show, and I will take that free shot of liquor. We are in a Super Chat battle today with our Niners channel and our Cowboys channel. Tex, we got some work to do. Niners did 250, Cowboys did about 300, so we need the 12s to come through and show that the Seahawks are not only the best fan base in the NFC West, but also in the NFC. So there's the challenge that is out there for the 12s today. Let's party, let's have a good time, let's enjoy happy hour, and let's stick it to the 49ers and Cowboys fans here on Seahawks Today. So 29 likes, need 1 more, and then we'll officially start the show. Here's a tease of what is coming up today here on Seahawks Today. We'll have the latest news and rumors for you as we're talking Derrick Henry. We're also talking about Josh Jacobs. We also have an update on Jamal Adams we'll get to. Then we have not 1 but 2 rumors mailbags today. Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the said mailbag. And then we will have our 53-man roster projection. How do things look for the Seahawks after the draft? We'll go over all that. I see we hit 30 likes. That's a free shot of liquor for you as we are just about ready to go. Cheers, everybody. Happy hour, happy Wednesday to all the 12s out there. Fireball, just so delicious, right? Just so good. All right, next up, news and rumors time. Tex, I'm all good to go on my end. Or are you all set on your end? All right, we are. So, without further ado, it's a live edition of Seahawks Today on a Wednesday. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Welcome in, Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we are talking about the possibility of the Seahawks trading for Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs. Also have an injury update on Jamal Adams that we will get to coming up in a matter of moments. Before we do, folks, we have had an awesome month here on the channel since the draft, and we have grown at a fast pace. We are getting so close to 38,000 subscribers on the channel, but we need your help to get there. So, if you want daily Seattle Seahawks news and rumors, if you want to be a part of our live shows on Wednesdays or watch parties during the season, this is the channel for you. And if the Seahawks make a major move of some sorts, we drop whatever we're doing and we try to get you a video out as quickly as we can. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. Let's get to 38,000 subscribers. I believe we can do it by the end of the week. Subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/SeahawksTV. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. We begin today with a report from CBS Sports naming Seattle as a top trade destination for Tennessee Titans running back Derrick Henry. And I know what some of you may be thinking. Huh? That's not the only moment on today's show. Let's start with the Derrick Henry front. Here's what Cody Benjamin had to say. The Titans are in a rebuilding phase, or at least should be, and can save $6.3 million by dealing the big man who's entering a contract year. They say they're not shopping him, but they've said the same about QB Ryan Tannehill, and he's clearly expendable as Tennessee moves into a new era. But that wasn't the only trade rumor from CBS Sports. CBS also named Seattle as a top trade destination for Las Vegas Raiders running back Josh Jacobs. Another moment, right? Here's what CBS had to say about this possibility. Technically, he's locked in for 2023 under the franchise tag, but that doesn't mean the Raiders wouldn't field or solicit interest. The veteran teased dissatisfaction with the current regime after Darren Waller's exit this offseason. Moving the 25-year-old workhorse would be instant success and would save them about $10 million. So how about that? Possibility there of Derrick Henry being moved on. Now, let me put it this way, okay? I look at these two guys, Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs. Both are spectacular football players. I think Derrick Henry is going to be a Hall of Famer. Josh Jacobs has had a very good career to this point in time. But there is absolutely none, zero, zilch, nada reason to pay that type of money and add a big-time running back to this running back room. Look what you've done. Kenneth Walker's coming off a fantastic rookie season. You spent the second-round pick on Zach Charbonnet, and then you used the third-round pick on Kenny McIntosh, who everybody has high hopes for as well. Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs are both very good football players. Don't misinterpret that as me trying to put a knock on these guys, because that's not what I'm saying at all. But where Seattle is at and where the needs are with this team and the limitations money-wise and everything with that, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Seattle has other priorities to deal with. Both guys, Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs, are very good players, but it doesn't make sense at all. Not to mention, on top of everything I just said, everything I just laid out, I hate the idea of paying running backs, veteran running backs, and I don't think there's an exception here with Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs either. So, if you had to pick one, though, who would it be? Would it be Derrick Henry? Would it be Josh Jacobs? What do you think of these two guys? If you could have one in Seattle, which one would you rather choose? Derrick Henry or Josh Jacobs? Type DH for Derrick Henry. Type JJ for Josh Jacobs. It's our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break, so take advantage of it. Get your votes in. Tell me one way or the other. DH for Derrick Henry, JJ for Josh Jacobs. So, let's go over the numbers on both these players, starting with Derrick Henry. He's coming off a season where in 16 games played, he had over 1,500 rushing yards, 13 touchdowns, and 349 carries. You go back to 2020 when he had over 2,000 rushing yards and 17 touchdowns. Derrick Henry has been phenomenal so far in his career. Meanwhile, Josh Jacobs coming off arguably the best season of his career this past season in Las Vegas, with over 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns, 4.9 yards per carry. Josh Jacobs was fantastic. But even with that said, as good as both these guys are, think about this. Where Seattle is at heading into 2023. With Kenneth Walker showing off as well as he did last year, and the future being so bright for him, and with the high hopes that are out there about Zach Charbonnet, and also adding in Kenny McIntosh, DJ Dallas is still around, I could sit here today and I could argue that Seattle might even have the best running back room in the NFL, as is, without even needing a Derrick Henry or a Josh Jacobs. I think that group is that good that they deserve a seat at the table to be a part of the discussion. So, of course, you don't need to be making a move paying a high-end running back like Henry or Josh Jacobs when you're already that good. You take a look at the depth chart. Here's where things stand right now. Walker and Charbonnet are your 1-2 backs. Nick Ballore, very solid fullback holding things down there. You're going to use McIntosh in the passing game. DJ Dallas is still there. Watch out. This backfield is elite. It's very good. There's no need for a Henry or a Jacobs. Both guys are fine football players, but Seattle is doing just fine without them, and it's a youth movement. Everybody wants to get young. Everybody wants to have talent when they're young, and that's what Seattle has here in this backfield right now. No need. Today's show is sponsored by our friends at Fanatics, and we got a great deal that we have going on at chatsports.com/Seahawks gear. Throwback gear is on sale now. Yes. You know that the Seahawks are going to be wearing the old school stuff, at some point this year, dating back to the days in the AFC. And we have some throwback gear, whether it's hats or long sleeves, shirts of all sorts, that are on sale now for up to 60% off. It's a hell of a deal if you ask me. And you're in luck because I decided that you deserve the opportunity to buy these at chatsports.com/Seahawks gear. So, I know Mother's Day's already passed, but not too early to be thinking about Father's Day. What are you doing? Stop whatever you're doing and get yours now. Chatsports.com/Seahawks gear for throwback gear, up to 60% off now. while supplies last, and you will be glad you did. Now, here's what I want to know. We've talked about a couple of different potential moves here for the Seahawks that they could make. And this roster still needs to add a couple more players for sure. Who's a player they should sign? Who should they add to this roster? Maybe it's not Josh Jacobs or Derrick Henry. Who would you like to see in the Seahawks uniform? Tell me what you think. Let me know in the comment section below. Jamal Adams. Been a while since we talked about our buddy Jamal Adams. But nonetheless, he posted on social media a cryptic message of sorts regarding his recovery. And we've heard the doubters out there about Jamal Adams and wondering if he's going to be the same player, if he's going to make a full recovery or not for this 2023 season. And Jamal Adams, he posted a couple videos and some things showing off and this message about this upcoming year ahead on his Twitter feed. And this is what Jamal had to say. The best part about being slept on is the moment they all realize they effed up about counting you out, keep working. Simple as that from Jamal Adams. A quick timeline of things, of where the situation resides with Jamal Adams right now. If you go back to week 1 of last season, he suffered a torn quad in the win against the Denver Broncos. We didn't see him the rest of the season. It's been exactly 8 months since the surgery happened to Jamal Adams to repair the torn quads. And now we're at a point, clock is ticking, right, for Jamal Adams. We are 10 weeks away till training camp. And will he be out there? Will he won't be? We'll see. But ideally, you'd like to have him out there, obviously. He is approaching this season with a cap hit of $18.11 million that he will be owed. And based on the way the cap hit works and the structure and all that, there's no reason to release Jamal Adams. Nobody's going to want to trade for Jamal Adams either. You're kind of just stuck with him and hoping that he's ready to go for camp. John Schneider was asked about Jamal Adams' status recently, and I want to show you what John Schneider had to say about Jamal Adams. Here's what he said recently. He's doing well. The company answer is that we don't know exactly the timeline. Very bad injury, very unfortunate for Jamal. He had 2 years now where he's been banged up. We want to be really careful with his progression, so training camp, I'm just not sure. We'll see where he is when it comes for OTAs. Now, here's the thing. Here's the silver lining in all of this scenario here that we painted here for you. That's why you signed Julian Love. Julian Love, I thought, was fantastic with the New York Giants. You brought him in, and we heard the Seahawks say that they're going to do the 3-high safety thing at times. We've heard discussions about Julian Love potentially playing nickelback. Well, Julian Love is more than capable of being the starting safety alongside Quandre Diggs. It is the perfect insurance policy for Jamal Adams. Ideally, you'd love to have Love and Adams on the field together at the same time, right? But if Jamal isn't ready, Julian Love is more than capable, and that's what he is there for, is to be that insurance in case Jamal Adams isn't quite there. So I say all that to say, you know what? I think things are going to work out just fine. I think things are going to be okay for Seattle when it comes to this secondary room and this safety spot that they have the insurance policy taken care of as far as that goes. So, about Jamal Adams, what's your confidence level right now in him heading towards this season? Coming off the injury history that he's had and everything there. What's your confidence level at right now? You can be real with me. If you're not very confident, that's okay. You can put a lower number on it. If you think he has a bounce back year and he's going to be fantastic and dependable and reliable, put a high number on it. Let me know. What's your confidence level with Jamal Adams this season? Scale it for me 1 through 10 in the comment section below. Hit me up on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook at Tyler Jones Live. You can find me there. And I shall see you next time right here on Seahawks Today. Thanks for joining. All right, so that's the first segment in the books. 3 more segments to go as we will be doing a mailbag in a few moments. Also got a 53-man roster projection coming up. But quick question that we want to ask you guys. Today is National Cherry Cobbler Day. What is your favorite dessert out there? Big Tex rejoins me right now. Tex, I'll be honest. I love me some ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
If I eat too much ice cream, then I might, pass out worse than Anna Nicole Smith. I am an ice cream guy through and through. What is your favorite dessert, Big Tex?
Ooh, I like chocolate cake a lot. I don't know if you've ever been to BJ's Brewery and Restaurant. They have a thing called a pizookie. It's basically like a giant cookie. They cook in this like metal dish tray, and then they scoop ice cream on top of it, and they put like chocolate sprinkles and shit, and it's fantastic. Definitely not good for you, but it tastes delicious.
Brandon is an ice cream fan. Can't go wrong with ice cream.
Ice cream's a good answer.
I love some cookie dough ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
That is.
You tried cookie two-step?
I have not.
Try it.
Okay.
Very good.
Wayne says DQ peanut butter
Parfait.
Parfait.
Interesting. I didn't know they sold parfaits at DQ.
Okay. Yeah, I could go for a peanut butter parfait. That's not a bad answer.
No. Use Jamal Adams as a linebacker.
Raw Hector says lava cake.
Yeah.
I like lava cake.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad. Not a bad answer.
Let's see. What else we got in the chat? So those are some of the answers so far. Let's go back to the super chat menu while we're asking what people like for their desserts. Super chat menu today. Who's going to send the first? We haven't had a super chat yet. Who's going to send the first one of the day? Any super chat gets you a shout out. $2, you can ask us anything. $5 will sing the DK song. $10 take a shot. Every $200 we take down the boots, which we drink as fast as we can, 3 beers in one. And $100 gets you a spot in the Boot Hall of Fame. Who's going to be the one to send that first super chat today and get this party started here on this Wednesday afternoon? I would love to see who is going to be that guy. But Tex, I got to tell you, let's see. Somebody's saying, Cam says, Tyler and Tex, who is your favorite Seahawks cheerleader? I'll be honest, I don't know any of the Seahawks cheerleaders.
Yeah. I don't even know the Cowboys cheerleaders, so.
But you know what? I hope that they, I wish them well in their job.
I'm sure they're beautiful.
They're in a great line of work. Let's see. Tom says, best dessert is a good single malt scotch. You can't go wrong with scotch.
Right. I just don't know if that qualifies as a dessert.
Yeah.
That's pretty manly.
Yeah, that's for sure very manly.
Yeah.
I hear the jokes people saying all the time about, taking your man card away. I think that's one where they rubber stamp the man card,
Yeah.
If you're having a scotch,
as a dessert.
As a dessert. What's for dinner then if scotch is for dessert?
A beer?
A beer? Peter says cheesecake. I love me some cheesecake too.
Oh, yeah.
Cheesecake's probably my favorite cake.
It's underrated, for sure.
Here's something for you. So my birthday's coming up in a couple weeks, and I will tell my mother, the cake I want, don't get me a normal type of cake. Get me a cheesecake. That'll be the move. Let's see. Botcha Director says cheesecake with white cream and some caramel on top. Caramel's good choice. I got to get some strawberries.
Yeah.
On that cheesecake.
Yeah. Got to add some fruit, a little spice.
Yeah. Mailbag time coming up next. Our first 2 mailbags. Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the mailbag and get your questions answered on today's show.
Ryan said cheerleaders are criminally underpaid. It's true.
Peter says, "Are we invited to your birthday party?" Of course, Peter. You're all invited to my birthday party. I'm going to be turning the very old age of 27 this year.
She's sure old, Tyler.
I know. Let's see. Tom says boned-in ribeyes for dinner. There we go.
Okay.
Great answer. Boned-in ribeye.
Good
can't go wrong with a good steak. That's for sure.
Yeah. Let me look through these questions for a few seconds.
Mailbag, hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get your questions in the mailbag segment that we'll bring you coming up in a few moments. And if you got a question while the mailbag's still going on in real time, then you can still get your questions in as we're going along through this using that hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat and get your questions in. So
Yeah, I think we need a few more questions.
Need some more questions?
Yeah. Let's get a few more. in
Okay.
there.
So text needs some more questions. So guys, get those in. And Peter wants to know, what fast food place has the best fries, Tyler?
Ooh.
Tex, that's a very good question. And my answer would be this. I'm going to go with the Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A with those waffle fries.
I don't know if that would be a split in the Chat Sports office. I've heard a lot of people talk shit about them.
Waffle fries are the best type of fries.
Okay.
I'm going to go Chick-fil-A and those waffle fries. The problem is when you go to Chick-fil-A and get the waffle fries is that if you don't eat them right then and there,
right,
they are soggy as hell.
And then they're no good. They're gross.
You got to eat them right on the spot.
Yep. I think McDonald's has very good fries. I know that's kind of random, but
you know
they do. And Wendy's.
I'll take it a step further. If you go back in the day, in the hot tub time machine, to when Wendy's, before back in the day, Wendy's didn't always cut off the potato skin, didn't leave the potato skins on the fries. Those were incredible. Those were great fries. But now they leave the potato skins on there. I'm like, what the hell? What are we doing here?
No bueno.
Waste of time.
You see what K-Wright said? He said, Tyler, your voice is great. What announcers do you look to as inspiration?
Me, myself, and I.
Ah, good answer.
Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the mailbag text. I think we got some more questions. I think we're all ready to go.
We definitely can work with that.
All right, mailbag time. Let's go somewhere between 8 and 12 minutes. That sweet spot there. So, all right, here we go, folks. Let's answer your questions. In particular, if you got trade ideas, I want to hear them on this mailbag. Send them your way. Let me know what you guys think. Brandon says, McDonald's nice, crispy, salty fries. At times, they can almost be a little too salty. Right? All right, here we go. Let's get to those questions here on Seahawks Today. It is mailbag time here on Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. You have questions, you're in luck because I got answers for you as we will answer these questions from our live show that we do on Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. And we answer these questions in real time. And so if you subscribe to the channel, you can join us and be a part of our award-winning mailbags. And it's a great time. We enjoy ourselves. The chat gets real active, and we interact with the chat in real time. It's awesome. You super chat, or if you use the hashtag Seahawks, your question is going on the mailbag. Pretty fantastic, if you ask me. Subscribe today, turn on notifications, join us for our live shows, and be a part of our mailbags here on the channel, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. First question from Brandon. What are the chances that Ndamukong Suh is coming to Seattle? Well, let me paint a picture here for you, Brandon. Okay? Think about this. So last year, in 2022, Ndamukong Suh waited a while before he finally signed while the season was already in progress and ended up with the Philadelphia Eagles and did not take a discount of some sorts. He said, look, I'm playing for this price or I'm not playing at all. And finally the Eagles stepped up and said, all right, we're paying you. And he played, and the rest is history, okay? I think I would guess that Ndamukong Suh isn't looking to play football in 2023 just to give him something to do instead of like knitting or something like that. I don't know. That he wants to be paid a decent amount to actually play this upcoming year. And the Seahawks haven't needed the defensive line. You look at Ndamukong Suh, and this is a guy that's from the Pacific Northwest. I think it's possible, but unlikely. Wouldn't rule it out, but a lot of things still in the way to make that happen, Brandon. Botcha Director says, hashtag Seahawks predictions for how Devin Witherspoon, Jackson Smith, and Jigba will do. Botcha, I think there is a possibility that we could see both Devin Witherspoon and Jackson Smith and Jigba competing for Rookie of the Year on offense and on defense. I think both guys are capable of being Rookie of the Year contenders. And here's why. Both players are the best player at their said position in this last draft. Smith and Jigba, the best wideout. Devin Witherspoon, the best corner. I think that they are going to have an immediate impact on this Seahawks team and be a force to be reckoned with. Watch out for both players. I think they're going to be awesome to have here in 2023. The 12s writes in, what are the chances the Seahawks trade for Quinnen Williams? Okay. The 12s, this is kind of a loaded answer here, so hear me out step by step. Quinnen Williams wants out of New York if he doesn't get paid. He's looking for around $23.5 million is the number, and the Jets aren't sure if they can pay that. So if you bring in Quinnen Williams, not only are you paying the $9 million that's on his fifth-year option for this upcoming season, but then extending that and paying $23+ million for the next several years of his contract. So you got to pay him a lot of money. That's number one. And then the draft capital, too. You're looking at a guy that was a first-team All-Pro this past year, that's coming off the best season of his career. What you'd have to give up for Quinnen Williams is not going to be cheap either. So the chances, low, but Seahawks are desperate on that defensive line, like we talked about with Ndamukong Suh, and Quinnen Williams is in the prime of his career right now. So it's possible, but unlikely. Should the Seahawks trade for Quinnen Williams? What say you? This is our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it. Get your votes in. Tell me one way or the other. Why for yes and for no? What do you think? Why for yes and for no? Should Seattle trade for Quinnen Williams? Let me know in the comment section. Cody, with a lot of all caps checking in, says, should I say this screaming? I'll save you the misery. If we restructure contracts to bring veteran D-line help, does this make us contenders? What say you? Personally, I believe we are already contenders now and definitely next year. Cody, I can't get over the all caps. I'm sorry. But the question still stands. Let's go with that. The Seahawks are, I agree, they are contenders. They're one of the top 4 teams in the National Football Conference in 2023. I think that they are as is. You get help on that defensive line and turn this defense into a top 10 defense, watch out. Then you have everyone's attention, and we know the offense is going to be lethal. It's going to be exciting with the playmakers that are on that offensive side of the ball. Yeah, I mean, it depends. You can't just, find some schmuck off the street, and that's going to make a difference. I mean, it's got to be, whether it's a Quinnen Williams, Ndamukong Suh, Yannick Ngakoue, those type of players. It can't be, Joey Bag of Donuts, and then all of a sudden, the Seahawks signed Joey Bag of Donuts, so now, they're an elite defense all of a sudden. No, it has to be an actual impact player, not just a body filling a need here. But if they get an actual impact player, yeah, of course. Thanks, Cody. Botcha Director, would you trade for Malik Willis for a 5th or 6th for next year? No. Simply put, no. I'm not trading for Malik Willis. Think about this, folks. Let's go back to the last draft cycle. And you heard John Schneider, when he was evaluating the quarterbacks in last year's draft, they're like, hey, look, we don't really, they were pretty upfront. They said they didn't really feel comfortable with any of the quarterbacks in last year's draft. They thought Drew Lock was better than all those quarterbacks last year. And they may have been right, actually, based on the results, what we've seen of the small sample size. But you look at Malik Willis, and granted, he didn't play a whole lot, but when we did see him, he did not look very good for Tennessee this past year. He did not look like an NFL quarterback at all. He looked like he was on his way to the Canadian Football League or something based on the performance that we saw last year. I mean, he got benched for Josh Dobbs, for crying out loud. Josh freaking Dobbs. So, no, I don't want Malik Willis on my team. I'm not interested. I'm out on Malik Willis. The Titans have already given up on Malik Willis. No thanks. I'm out. You can do better than Malik Willis as far as I'm concerned. No thanks. Jamal Adams is burner. Should the Seahawks trade for Chase Young? Yes. Yes, they should. I would love to see Jamal Adams, I'd love to see Chase Young in Seattle. Chase Young would be electrifying. He would be an impact player. He'd make a huge difference on this team. And I know what a lot of you are thinking, and I'm probably going to hear this in the comments section from the keyboard warriors out there, that, well, Chase Young has dealt with injuries the last 2 years. He hasn't been dependable. That's why he would come at a discount. This is a former number 2 overall pick, okay? You're not going to be paying a first-round pick for him. You're getting him at a discount. You're getting him at a discounted rate. This is like a grocery outlet type buy now, or Kirkland Products or something like that, for what was once a prized possession. The talent is still there. If you're giving up like a second-round pick or something, that's pretty dang good for a guy that was he's been fantastic when he's been healthy. If he can stay healthy, the rewards far outweigh the risk in this situation. Yes, I'm in. Yes, yes, yes. Jim Carrey, yes, man. I'm down for it. Should Seattle trade for Chase Young? What do you think? Type T for trade, type P for pass. What do you guys think about this possibility? Let me know in the comment section. T for trade, P for pass. Ante writes in, with DK on the outside, Tyler in the slot, now Jay is in. Do you think he will be our flex receiver playing in the inside and outside, or just in the slot? Ante, I think you're onto something. Ante, he knows ball. Ante knows what he's talking about. Yes, I do think we're going to see a little bit of everything with Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think you're going to keep defenses guessing and try to get the most out of Jackson Smith and Jigba. We know that he is a very good possession receiver, but also very fast as well, so that can make him a deep threat down the field. Yeah, I think you're going to see Jackson Smith and Jigba all over the place as far as I'm concerned. I am excited about what we're going to see with Jackson Smith and Jigba in 2023, that they're going to find a lot of different ways to use him as far as that goes. Pacific Northwest writes in, what can Julian Love do that Ryan Neal can't? Let me go on record and say this. Ryan Neal, I did not agree with pulling the tender sheet because it wasn't that much, and he was the highest rated safety in the entire league according to the nerds at Pro Football Focus. Let me make that very clear. I really liked Ryan Neal. As far as Julian Love goes, Julian Love's a little more athletic. Okay, Julian Love can fly around that field and do a little bit more that way than maybe what you could out of Ryan Neal. Ryan Neal, I think last year we saw his ceiling, what he absolutely could do at his very best. Julian Love, I think, still has more that he can improve and a higher ceiling, if you want to put it that way, as far as that goes. That's the difference, I think, between the two players there. Name a player the Seahawks should add this offseason. There is still time, my friends. Who should they add? Tell me in the comment section. Give me one player that comes to mind that you would like to see in the Seahawks roster this offseason. 2 down, halfway through today's show. Big Tex, our Stars, our Dallas Stars.
Let's go Stars.
Came through, took down the Kraken.
They did.
And they are off to the Western Conference Finals in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. The Kraken are out of here.
Get out of here.
Game 7 loss. Although I was very nervous.
Yeah.
2-0. Kraken had a chance to come back in the final seconds.
They almost did.
Stars made it happen. Folks, what is your reaction to the Kraken losing Game 7 to the Stars? I don't know if Coop is still here, but Coop, he talked a lot of smack.
Yeah, he did.
Before this series began. The Kraken took Game 1. Mm-hmm. And things didn't look good for the Stars at the beginning of this series. But the way they rallied to win Game 7, I was very, very pleased.
Yeah, Coop said Stars in 6. I was like, nah, Stars in 7.
Right? It was awesome. I'm so happy for what the Stars put together. What do you guys think? Tell me in the chat. What was your reaction to the Kraken losing Game 7 to the Stars? Were you heartbroken? Were you hurt? Peter makes a good point and says,
true.
Great season for the Kraken. Only their second season. That is true.
One series off the Western Conference Finals in your second year of existence. Right. That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, very good. But just couldn't beat the Stars.
It's not as good as my Stars. Let's go Stars.
Timothy says, I thought people called them the crackheads. I'm not going to call them the crackheads. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I will win with grace.
Exactly.
But it was a valiant effort by the Kraken. It was a fun series for sure.
Oh, yeah. No question.
Probably lost a lot of years off my life. Let's see here. What else you guys got? Let's go to the Super Chat menu here.
Okay. I got you.
Before we get to our next segment, we're going to do a 53-man roster projection. I'm going to run through the 53 players that I believe will be on the Seahawks roster when it's all said and done. We'll go through that before the season begins, coming up in just a matter of moments. Happy hour here on Seahawks Today. Waiting to see who's going to send the first Super Chat of the day. Surprised that we've gone this long. Haven't seen anything yet. Any Super Chat, you get a shout-out. $2, you can ask me or text anything. Whatever's on your mind. $5, we'll sing the DK song. $10, take a shot. Every $200, we take down the boot. Here's the boot in Old Square right here. $100 gets you a spot in the Boot Hall of Fame. So that is still up for grabs. And when we do our mailbag, you send a Super Chat. Your questions come in first and help support the show. $ below the chat box is how you can contribute and be a part of the show and make a donation. We certainly would appreciate it. All right, 53-man roster projection up next. Let's break down who we think will be on the Seahawks 53-man roster to start the season. Tex, we all good? We're ready to go? All right, let's get after it. Welcome in. It's Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we have a complete breakdown of the 53-man roster for your Seattle Seahawks, what we are projecting that it will look like when the season begins. After training camp and everything, who is going to be left standing when the Seahawks begin the season? We'll tell you who we think that is coming up in a matter of moments. Before we do, what will the Seahawks record be in 2023? A lot of optimism, a lot of excitement for this season ahead. What's their final record going to be when the season ends? Let us know in the comments section. Tell me what your official prediction is, whether it's wins, losses, ties out there. What do you think? Give me your official prediction. We'll get started with today's show. So what we have done is that we are going through every single position, including long snapper. And I'm going to tell you who I think the 53 players are on the Seahawks roster when the season begins and go through them piece by piece. So without further ado, let's start with the obvious, the quarterback position. I think Geno Smith and Drew Lock are going to be your two quarterbacks on this roster. You might carry, we've talked about Holton a lot from East Carolina. He might be a practice squad quarterback. I'd be surprised if Seattle goes with more than two quarterbacks on the active roster, but I think this is what it will be. Barring something drastic, you'll see it be Geno and Drew holding the spots that they held last year. The backfield, I think you're going to see Kenneth Walker, DJ Dallas, Zach Charbonnet, Kenny McIntosh as your four running backs holding things down. I wonder about DJ Dallas, or at the very least, what his playing time is going to be with the emergence of Charbonnet and as well as Kenny McIntosh. And Kenny McIntosh will play a similar role to what we've seen from DJ Dallas in the past of being a third down back and being a receiving back. Nick Bellore, of course, holding things down at the fullback position. Then we go to the tight end spot. I think that you go with three tight ends, especially with as much as the Seahawks want to use 12 personnel. You got to have another body around, and that's where Colby Parkinson stays in the mix, as well as Noah Fant and Will Dissly. Those three, last year they were a good trio. None of them were great, but none of them were bad either. I think they stick around, and it's those three holding things down at the tight end position. Whole lot more to get to in a moment. Before we do, name a player the Seahawks should cut. Here's your chance to be a little harsh judge here. Who is somebody that you do not want to see on the Seahawks roster when the season begins in 2023? This is our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it. Tell me who you think the Seahawks should move on from. Let me know in the comments section below. We go to the wide receiver position. I got 5 guys that I have the Seahawks holding on to at receiver. Obviously, DK and Tyler get a spot there, as well as Jackson Smith and Jigba. Those are your top 3. D. Eskridge, I know that there's been some question marks and some controversy. But I think if you are Pete Carroll and John Schneider, you're saying to ourselves, look, we spent a second-round pick on this guy a couple years ago. I know he's been dealing with some injury issues and all that, but give him one more shot and see how that ultimate works out. Young, in his limited time, looked impressive. Cade Johnson will compete. I like Cade Johnson, but ultimately I don't have him necessarily making it as far as that goes with one of those spots there. Let's go to the offensive line now. I have 9 guys total on the offensive line making the Seahawks roster. You go with your bookend tackles. Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas obviously make it. Some people say Abraham Lucas was more impressive than Charles Cross last year. It's going to be awesome to see what these two do for years to come holding down the tackle spots. Evan Brown, you signed from the Detroit Lions. He'll probably be your starting center when it's all said and done. Damian Lewis, Phil Haynes, obviously hold things down in their respective positions as well. Stone is going to continue to get stoned and hold things down there on the offensive line along with Jake. And then Anthony Bradford. Anthony Bradford, I really liked. The Seahawks picked him on day 3 out of LSU. And I think Anthony Bradford has a good shot to be an opening day starter at one of those guard spots for Seattle. Watch out for Anthony Bradford. I think he's going to impress a lot of people when camp comes around. Another name for you, Olu from Michigan. That's another guy I'm excited about too. Probably doesn't beat Evan Brown out to start at center, but he's your future center. Maybe he starts later on the season or next year, whatever it may be, but Olu is going to be a force to be reckoned with over the next several years. Now, here's your chance to name a player who makes the Seahawks 53-man roster. Now, don't be obvious. Don't tell me Geno Smith or DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett. That's too easy. Give me like a borderline player that you think is going to make the roster when it's all said and done. Tell me a player that is going to make it on this 53-man roster that's borderline that we're not so sure about. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Give me one name who's going to make it on that 53-man roster that's kind of on the edge right now. The defensive line. Now, we've seen some talk. There could be some changes that the Seahawks could add more talent to that defensive line, but we're doing this based on what we know right now as the roster stands as is. We'll go with Cameron Young, Miles Adams, Robert Cooper, Draymond Jones, Jaron Reed, and Mike Morris. But we've heard even from Pete Carroll say that they expect there to be some changes, that they're keeping their eyes out. So if the season started today, this would be your 6, but watch out to see if there is another addition or 2 between now and when the season begins. The linebackers. I think there's going to be 10 total linebackers for Seattle, and I like this group. Uchenna Nwosu, I thought, was a good pickup last offseason from the Chargers. Darrell Taylor, this is a big year for him. Watch out. Derek Hall, a little bit of controversy picking him in the second round. Remember, our own Tom Downey had a third-round grade on him, late third. He ends up with Seattle there. Let's see what he can do. Boye Mafe, I'm very excited to see what he can do in 2023. I thought that he showed some flashes, had some good moments last year. He could take a big step up this season. We'll see what he can put together. Tyreek Smith, Vi Jones, also on this list. Bobby Wagner, he'll make the roster. Devin Bush. Devin Bush, it's going to be interesting to see what type of playing time he gets. Because it's all dependent, really, on when Jordan Brooks comes back or not. Devin Bush, I don't like the idea of Devin Bush as a starting linebacker, but if he's backing up Bobby and Jordan, then that's fine. That's a very suitable role for Devin Bush there. And then John Radigan as well. Safeties, I got 5 of them. Jamal Adams, a healthy Jamal Adams, please. Quandre Diggs, Julian Love. Julian Love I'm very excited about. Now, it's going to be interesting. It's all kind of dependent on Jamal's health, right? We could see Julian Love play some nickelback at times. We could see the 3-high safety thing going. There's been rumors about Jamal Adams maybe even playing linebacker or something. Whatever it may be, this safety room is going to be awesome this year. Joey Blunt, Also, Jarek Reed, the second, out of New Mexico. We've talked about Jarek Reed a little bit here on the channel. He was one of our winners out of minicamp. And this is a guy that impressed a lot of people, coaches, scouts, media, and everybody at minicamp. Let's see if he can get in the mix and get some playing time. Under the radar pick in the 6th round. Watch out for Jarek Reed the second. Still more names to get to, but first, who will be a breakout player for the Seahawks in 2023? I need one name. Who is going to have their launching pad season of sorts this upcoming year? Give me one name that comes to mind that you think is going to have a breakout season. Let me know in the comment section below. Corner. This corner room is going to be fantastic this year. I think it's going to be one of the best corner rooms in the entire league. Devin Witherspoon, who you picked at number 5 overall, he immediately is going to start at outside corner alongside Derrick Henry, who's coming off tying for the lead league in interceptions last year with 6. That's going to be a dynamic duo for years to come. Kobe Bryant was good as a rookie last year, but it was overshadowed by how well Derrick Henry played. Kobe Bryant, this guy had a good rookie year, but Derrick Henry was so good that it went by the wayside. People forgot how good Kobe Bryant was. Watch out for Kobe Bryant and see what he can do this upcoming year. Still got Mike Jackson there, good veteran corner. Started outside corner last year. Takes a little bit of a reduced role with the emergence of Devin Witherspoon, but nonetheless, still good to have around. And then there's Trey Brown. I think people kind of forget about Trey Brown. Trey Brown is somebody that got playing time as a rookie out of Oklahoma, started a few games, suffered the injury, didn't see him a whole lot last year. Still a good player, just there's been questions about his availability. Watch out. Don't sleep on Trey Brown quite yet either. Special teams, Jason Myers, Michael Dixon, one of the best kicker-punter combos in the entire league. And then Chris Stoll will be your long snapper for Seattle this year. So there is a complete breakdown of the 53-man roster for your Seattle Seahawks as far as the 2023 outlook of this roster goes. How would you grade the roster? Now that you have an idea how things are going to look in 2023, give me a grade. You could be a tough teacher if you want to be. A, B, C, D, or F. I don't know how it could be a C, D, or F, but explain to me why, if it is one of those lower grades, why you have that grade. Give me a grade for this Seahawks roster in 2023, what you think it is. Hit me up on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Tyler Jones Live. You can find me there talking about your Seattle Seahawks. You can tell me how much you love my roster prediction. If you hate it, that's fine too. Whatever it is, tell me on social media, and I shall see you next time on this very channel, Seahawks Today by Chat Sports, and have a great day. Thanks for joining us. All right. 3 seconds down, 1 to go. I'll get another Q&A on the other side. Almost time to touch our bags with another mailbag segment. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the mailbag. Who will be a breakout player for the Seahawks in 2023? The grades also coming in, Tex. I see B, B+, B+, A-, B+, A-. Big Tex, what's your grade?
I'd give it an A.
An A?
Yeah, I think so. I think you look at JSN, that was a steal at 20. Devin Witherspoon's an amazing corner. I mean, what's not to love, right? I mean, Derek Hall's kind of like
what's not to love? Julian Love.
Exactly. Derek Hall as well, kind of an underrated pick. I know Tom had him as the 3rd-round pick, but I think he's pretty solid as a prospect. I don't know how you could be mad about it. Geno Smith coming back, veteran quarterback. Pretty solid all around. Draymond Jones.
You got an A. I'll be a little bit tougher. I agree with Cam and Allen and Man's best year. I say B+.
Okay.
I'm going B+. You still have an obvious weakness
That's
in
fair.
the interior of the defensive line.
Good point.
That needs to be addressed. That's the biggest thing holding this back. I will go with the B+. Dylan says Kobe Bryant's going to have a breakout season. Mm-hmm. I see Machado says another great show. Thanks, Machado. Thanks for showing some love there. Got an A in the chat as well. Carney says, got to fix defensive tackle before an A. Run attacks gouged the Hawks last year. That's a fair point.
True.
One more mailbag coming up. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on said mailbag. Text, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little disappointed. We haven't had a Super Chat.
I know. What the heck, people?
12s. Where are you at?
12s are real.
Where are my 12s at? Who's going to send the very first Super Chat?
You know you want to. You know you
We'll
want to
show
make
you
Tyler
some
happy.
love. We will go crazy for the very first one today. Could be $1. I don't care.
We'll still fucking go wild.
What he said. What he said. Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the show. Can I entice you folks on the Super Chat menu? Can I get somebody to get the ball rolling?
You want me to throw a Super Chat
Yeah,
menu
let's
up?
throw a Super Chat menu up.
I got you. Give me 1 second.
Who is going to be the one? $sign below the chat box. We can't leave here without nothing today. We said that we were battling 49ers and Cowboys, and it's not going great, our battle today. We're not living up to the challenge so far. Any Super Chat equals a shout-out. $2, ask us anything. $5, we'll sing the DK song. We haven't got to sing the DK song.
What the heck?
$10, we'll take a shot. Every $200, we will drink Das Boot. 3 beers in one. We'll drink it as fast as we can. Somebody says you spoke about Henry already. Yeah. We covered Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs at the top of the show. If you missed any of that conversation from earlier, you could ask us in the mailbag with a Super Chat or with the hashtag Seahawks for the mailbag. Or you can wait for the video that'll be coming out once this show ends with that segment from earlier we'll put up coming up later. That's how you can catch that from later on. So for those wondering about Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs, that's where that segment was at. The poll question, by the way, 129 votes in. 58% of you say Derrick Henry. 42% say Josh Jacobs of one that they would trade for. Peter says we need the Seahawks sauce back. Peter, the Seahawks sauce can happen. $50 and the Seahawks sauce can come back. I'll make that offer. I'll make you a deal. $50 and we'll drink the Seahawks sauce. We'll find a way to get the Seahawks sauce on the show. One more mailbag coming up. Use hashtag Seahawks for Super Chat to get on the mailbag. Tex, we still need some more questions, right? And also on this mailbag, folks, I want to talk some free agency today. In particular, on this mailbag, I would love to answer your free agency questions. We talked a lot of trades earlier, and if you have trade questions, that's fine too. But in particular, I would love to hear some free agency questions that you guys might have. Super Chat gets you to the front of the line, or you can use that hashtag Seahawks to get your questions in for that mailbag. I will take one quick drink. Mountains are blue. No Bud Light here. What Tex said in my ear, if only people knew, regarding Bud Light. I'll leave it at that. Mailbag time. If you got questions during the show, then you can send them in while the show's going on using the hashtag Seahawks or super chatting as we go along. But Tex says we're ready to go. Let's get after it. Mailbag time here on Seahawks Today. Time for another mailbag edition of Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we will answer your questions. Comes from our live show that we do on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. And these questions we answer in real time. People send us super chats or the hashtag Seahawks, and we answer whatever is on the minds of the 12s out there. If you subscribe, you too can be a part of our mailbags that we do here on the channel. Subscribe for free. You'll know when we go live. Turn on notifications, and if the Seahawks make a big move or live shows, whatever it may be, if you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, you're going to be fully aware when we have you covered here on the channel. Subscribe for free today, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. Bacha Director says, do you re-sign Brooks or target someone like Patrick Queen instead, or get both? Bacha Director, that's a very good question. Thanks for sending that in. in regards to, let's start with Jordan Brooks here. We've heard from John Schneider say that they have every indication to bring back Jordan Brooks. Although they declined the fifth-year option, they fully believe and are invested in Jordan Brooks long-term. That's what they tell us. I do believe them on that, actually. I think that they are going to get a deal done with Jordan Brooks. But with the ACL injury and everything, I know PFF hates Jordan Brooks. He's got terrible PFF grades, despite just like, 2 years ago being the second leading tackler in the NFL. I think Jordan Brooks is a fine football player. I think they will bring him back. As far as Patrick Queen goes, Patrick Queen, incredible talent. But I would argue that Patrick Queen is playing the wrong position. I don't think Patrick Queen belongs at linebacker. I think he should be a safety. He should be playing in space of some sorts. And I think that's the problem that the Ravens are running into, where they look at Patrick Queen, they say, this guy's an incredible talent, but they're not using him properly, getting the most out of him. I blame Baltimore for that. And if you look at where the Seahawks are at with their safeties, they don't need any safeties right now. I'd be open to Patrick Queen potentially coming to Seattle next year and maybe playing safety if he's a free agent out there. But I don't see a trade of some sorts for Patrick Queen as far as that goes. Thanks for that question. Landon says, best free agent quarterback available right now. So if you look at the free agent quarterbacks that are still on the market at this point in time, here are some of the names that I want to bring to your attention. Nick Foles, Cam Newton, those are probably some of the more notable names that are out there at this point that are still waiting to be signed here. But you also have Matt Ryan. I guess he's going to CBS Sports, but he hasn't closed the door on a possible comeback potentially. Carson Wentz is still available. Teddy Bridgewater is also out there as well. You could go with an elite quarterback, wink, wink, like Joe Flacco. Chase Daniel, who has made a fantastic career out of being a backup. He's sitting out there as well. But the Seahawks aren't in a need for a free agent quarterback unless something were to happen to Geno or Drew Lock or something in camp. There's really no need. So, but those are the guys, at least as they stand right now anyway. Thanks for the question there, Landon. Seahawks Nation writes, any chance the Seahawks could sign Yannick Ngakoue? I got to tell you, I really like Yannick Ngakoue. I thought he was spectacular this past season and what he's done in his career there with Indianapolis and Baltimore and a couple different teams in his NFL career. But all things come down to money, as these things do, right? And I think the money that Yannick is looking for, the money that Seattle has, the two don't necessarily match up right now. It's a nice pipe dream. It's a nice idea in theory, but just don't see it happening. It'd be cool, no question about it, but the money does not add up for Seattle to bring in a guy like Yannick Ngakoue unless something drastically changes. What say you? Should the Seahawks sign Yannick Ngakoue? Should he be a Seahawk? It's our pinned comment today. Y for yes, in for no. Tell me in the comments section, should the Seahawks sign Yannick Ngakoue or not? Let me know in the comment section. So we got a great deal that we're offering Seahawk fans. You guys already know that Seattle is bringing back the throwback uniforms at some point this upcoming season, back to the AFC days. And you are in luck because we have a great deal right now on throwback gear. You can get Seahawks throwback gear of hats or shirts or Tommy Bahama shirts or whatever they may be. Get this. On sale right now for up to 60% off. That's 60% off. Chatsports.com/Seahawks gear to get yours today while supplies last. A great deal just for a limited time. What are you waiting for? Chatsports.com/Seahawks gear to get yours today. My guy Ra Hector checking in. Good to see you, Ra Hector. So more likely to see a trade before or during the season. I think there will be a trade of some sorts before the season begins. Think about last year in the middle of training camp when the Seahawks traded for J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and it wasn't a big trade of some sorts. It ultimately didn't mean anything because both players for both sides in the trade ultimately got cut before the season began anyway. But, yeah, I think there will be a trade of some sorts. How big of a trade remains to be seen. But a trade of some sorts, yeah, we probably see a trade of some sorts before the season begins. I'd be willing to bet that will happen. If the Seahawks cut or trade Jamal Adams next offseason, is it likely they bring back Ryan Neal? I don't think so. If I was Ryan Neal, I would actually be kind of pissed at the Seahawks right now, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. Because you made the offer to him, and then you rescinded the offer. I mean, like, it's not a great – if we're going to be real here, it's not a great way to handle business. Now, I understand that Julian Love ended up coming to town and you upgraded the position and all that, but in all honesty, Ryan Neal has every reason to be pissed with the Seahawks at this point in time. Don't see it happening. I think Seattle would draft the safety position if they move on from Jamal Adams personally, but we'll see. P&W Family writes, I think trading for Williams would somewhat complete this defense, at least for this season, but they need another linebacker next year, though, or by the time Bobby leaves. Yeah, all those points very valid. I do expect the Seahawks to be trying to find an inside linebacker at next year's draft at some point. Very high selection. This year's class wasn't very good when it came to the inside linebacker position in the draft. So, yeah, they'll make a move. You can't have Devin Bush being your starting linebacker in the future. They'll make a move of some sorts, I expect, this year to find another guy. DK the GOAT says, could Jadeveon Clowney return to Seattle? Yes, he could. I would not put a high number on it, but it could happen. I still think Jadeveon Clowney is a good football player. Former number 1 overall pick with the Houston Texans. He's been around a couple different teams. He's dealt with some injuries here and there, but Jadeveon Clowney is still, I think, a fine football player. He's not going to demand a whole lot salary-wise. I want to rule out that possibility. Watch out for Jadeveon Clowney potentially. That door, I don't think, has completely shut. Should Seattle bring back Jadeveon Clowney? What say you? Type S for sign, P for pass. Simple as that. You type S on the keyboard, or you shift over to your right and type P on the keyboard. That's how it works. Let me know what you think in the comments section. S for sign, P for pass. Hello, Wayne. Wayne writes in, where do you see the Hawks finishing in the NFC West? I say second to the hated Niners. Man, I think it's going to be very, very close in that division. Now, I'm not going to sit here with a cop-out answer, but I'll put it this way. I think there's a chance we could see a tie in the division. I would not be shocked at all if both teams have the same record when it's all said and done. I think the Niners are slightly better, but not by a whole lot. I think both these teams are very, very good, and it's going to come down right to the very end in this division. Going to be a lot of fun for sure. Let's see if the Seahawks can get it done. $2 super chat from Allen. Bang! Bring Bruce back. Maybe. I was very impressed with what Bruce did in his time in Seattle this past year. You know, they originally signed him to the practice squad, and then getting the call up to the 53-man roster. He was good for what Seattle needed. And you look back at this past season, where would they have been, that defense, in the second half of the year without Bruce? Bruce impressed me. Yeah, possible. We'll see. Thanks, Alan. Bang! Peter, what free agent linebackers would help out the Seahawks. Well, I don't think the Seahawks are going to be signing any more linebackers. I think they're going to stay kind of with who they are. But you look, just since you asked, Deion Jones is available. I like Deion Jones. Miles Jack is sitting out there. Kyle Van Noy, Quan Alexander, just to name a few. Deion Jones, he's only 28 as well. It's a thought. I like Deion Jones more than I do Devin Bush. But I don't make those decisions. Grade the Seahawks offseason so far. What do you think of what the Seahawks have done in 2023? A, B, C, D, or F? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today. All right, we are done. All these segments are completed here on Seahawks Today. We'll sign off coming up here in just a few moments, but want to make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I'm going to put the sub link in the chat right now. Text, as I'm doing that, pull up that super chat menu and show people, just in case, they want to extend the party a little bit longer. There's a sub link in the chat. We had that $2 super chat come in. Thank goodness. I didn't want to leave here without anything. We'll take $2 for nothing. But there is the sub link in the chat if you haven't subscribed already. Here's, if you want to keep the party going, this is how you can get involved and do so. Any super chat gets a shout out. We'll put you on screen. $2, ask us anything. $5, we'll sing the DK song. Haven't got to sing the DK song yet today. $2 $10 take a shot. Every $200 take a boot. We're $198 away from the Das Boots. Machi says, "Well done, boys. Great show." Thank you, Machi, for that one. The Seahawks Mount Rushmore? Actually, yeah, Russ, Bobby, Richard Sherman, Beast Mode's in contention. I mean, you could argue with a number of guys that would make a case to be on the, Steve Largent, Cortez Kennedy, Walter Jones, Sean Alexander.
What about Brian Bosworth?
Brian Bosworth. Oh, I love Brian Bosworth personally, but I don't want to make some enemies and try to put him on the Mount Rushmore here. Brian Bosworth, yeah, he's the sheriff of Fansville. Oh, yes. Sublink is in the chat. We will sign off. Tex, a lot of fun today, as always. Back here, same bat time, same bat channel. Yeah. 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific next Wednesday. For Big Tex, I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.